LinkedIn advocacy programs. So we've seen individuals take off. There's some companies that, have some programs like we've talked about. I think next year companies are finally, some are going to start understanding the early majority that this is something you can't ignore and that employees want to do.
If we're going to have a panel on content next year, a year from now at the second demand, hopefully it's in person, what's the biggest content trend that we're going to be talking about, Erin?
I don't know that it's a trend, but it's something that not many companies do, and they could do better, is creating their own proprietary data and doing data storytelling. When I say creating your own data, you could do something like Gong does, where they go right into their software. And if you don't have the capabilities to do that, you can create your own data insights by running surveys, doing your own research reports. And that way you're not constantly, it's a really good way to be a thought leader. You're not constantly searching for other people's data to back up your point. You're actually being the thought leader in the market, and you're able to build trust and build a name for yourself. And of course, generate leads and backlinks and press. And it kind of amplifies and snowballs your ability to get attention in a way that's not icky, in a way that is trustworthy. And especially if you're selling into a certain audience that is a little more, an executive audience, for example, they don't believe what you tell them. They need to see the hard facts and the data. They're much more logical, analytical.
I love that. Devin, what are we talking about a year from now when it comes to content?
I mean, I can't say data-driven storytelling now, so I got to pick a different one, but that was top 3 for me. I think I don't have a better name for it, but like LinkedIn advocacy programs. So we've seen individuals take off. There's some companies that, have some programs like we've talked about. I think next year companies are finally, some are going to start understanding the early majority that this is something you can't ignore and that employees want to do. So you start to hear more programmatic approaches and maybe even how to measure that. That might be the next year. That might be 2023, how to measure it. But next year will be like, how do I empower my employees on LinkedIn?
All right, I'm holding you to that 2 years from now. Camille, what's the content trend we're talking about next year?
So I think we're already talking about both of these things. I won't come up with something like that no one's ever said, but the 2 things that come to mind are media company, right? Like build a media company. Tons of people have said this, but it comes back to like be everyone's favorite, right? Be like the one that people like come back to and have like the best content, and not necessarily like the most content, but just everything that comes out is good and is reputable and feels like a media company. So there's that, and then there's also like product-led content. I think we're gonna like see more of that next year. I think we're already seeing like a lot of it. There's like a lot written on like product-led SEO, but I think there'll be like more product-led social, like product-led everything. And so that's one thing I think we're exploring. I think like we are exploring is just having like your content be like part of your product too, like have it be like built in to the product, and thinking through that as well. So I think those are two trends to look at.